Hi, welcome and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. It's my last week of my 30-day detox, and I've had a lot of fun with this group, and it's been a challenge. I have to drink two 32-ounce jars of this really bitter tea. Actually, they're two different teas, but they're both bitter. And I mentioned this in a previous video, but my, oh my, no matter how many days I'm doing this, the tea always has that bite. But it's going well. I'm focusing on raw foods this week, and I'm also trying to move more to really be able to maximize my results. So for those of you who have taken on cleanses, detoxes, weight loss programs, or other cessation programs, maybe you're quitting smoking or drinking or whatever it is, kudos to you, cheers, and you've got this. But I'm sure that you're going to look and feel amazing when it's all said and done. At any rate, in a previous video, I got a little carried away in the description box because I had some afterthoughts about who you're dealing with and knowing who you're dealing with. And I wanted to give it its own video. I wanted to talk to you about the who, what, when, where, why, and how of knowing who you're dealing with. And especially when it comes to narcissism and narcissistic abuse, toxic relationships, toxic people, just to help heighten your awareness and really get you to pause, take a step back, and really think about who and what you're dealing with. A lot of times we will jump into relationships, go all in, and not really take time to step back, survey the situation, and consider who and what we're dealing with, only to find out later, sometimes years or even decades later, that we really did not want to be involved with this person or be in this relationship, whether it's personal or professional. One question that you should ask yourself is, who is the person behind the presentation? Narcissists are very image driven. They're very concerned about how they look and about appearances, and I talked about this in a previous video, but you should question yourself as to who's the person behind the presentation. Do you know what their real name is? Do you know what their government name is? Do you know what their background is? Do you know what their character is like, especially if you're dealing with someone online? Do you know what they look like? Like really look like? Like if they were sitting right next to you, do you know what they look like? Do you know them personally? Secondly, what do you really know about this person? Do they have a criminal background? How are they really living? What's their occupation? Have you ever watched the show Catfish on MTV? Do you know that Catfish is in its 8th season? That should tell you something right there. There's a reason why that show has been on for 8 seasons. That's a lot of content. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of con artists and scammers. And guess what? There are a lot of con artists and scammers out there these days. These are desperate times. So something to consider and be aware of. Another thing that you might want to ask yourself is, when did you meet this person? Or if it's someone that you already know or have already been dealing with, when did you last see them? And what was that interaction like? How did you leave things? What did you notice? How did you feel during that time? Were you anxious? Was it awkward? Was it a hostile situation? Was it a confrontational type situation? Was it online? Was it through text messaging? What was the vibe? What was the tone? Another thing to consider is, where did you meet this person? If it was online, what platform was it? What was their profile name? What were those interactions like? If it's someone that you've been dealing with already, where did you last see them? What was the environment? What was the nature of the meeting or the encounter? How did you feel in that situation? What kind of vibe were they giving off? Was anybody else there? What else did you notice? Next, why their interest? And more specifically, why their interest in you? If you're dealing with somebody online, as I mentioned in a previous video, why is someone who has never met you in person, never dealt with you one-on-one, never met you in real life, maybe hasn't known you or interacted with you for very long, professing their love for you, or who maybe was disinterested if you've already been dealing with them, seemingly disinterested, distant, or estranged, suddenly coming forward with I love yous, or expressing an intense amount of interest in you, or circling back. How did that make you feel? What was the context? What was the vibe? What were they approaching you with? Was it an opportunity, whether it was professional, or was it an opportunity maybe personally, like for re-engagement? What was going on in your life at the time that they expressed interest in you? Were you working on something? Were you involved in a project? Had you experienced a big win in your life, maybe some success? Or had you maybe come into an inheritance, if it's family? Finally, how are they behaving or interacting with you or around you? Narcissists will often push your buttons if they know certain things bother you, or certain things are struggles for you, or painful for you, or points of weakness in a sense, or maybe something that you want to hear. They may throw that out there. They're looking to trigger a response or a reaction in you. It could be a positive one, like making you feel warm and fuzzy, or making you feel like they have your best interests at heart, or that they're warm and friendly, or that they are likable or lovable. Or it could be negative, where they're looking to get you angry, they're looking to intimidate you, they're looking to irritate or aggravate you, or even just plain old distract you. Whether it's online or in person, narcissists will use different things like mirroring and love bombing, parroting, posturing, posing, in order to capture your attention, keep it, and then pull you in to a toxic relationship that, if you really paused, took a step back, looked at everything in context, and did some due diligence, like some background checking, fact checking, and other research, you would find that, you know what, no thank you, or you know what, this is not something that I want to be involved with, or someone that I want to be involved with. Narcissists like to move very quickly so that you don't take time to pause, survey the situation, or even look at them for super long, or read between the lines. And even online, they can use a lot of text tactics to get your attention, or to make you feel warm and fuzzy, and to get you feeling some kind of way, so that you don't focus on, okay, well, wait a second, like, why are you approaching me with this now? Or who are you? Right? Anyway, at the end of the day, you can never go wrong with doing your due diligence. And there's so much value in taking a step back from any situation or relationship and just pausing and taking time to reflect on who and what you're dealing with, so that you can be able to make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to move forward, pursue, or engage with that individual. As I mentioned previously in my video on murder and manipulation, there was a producer here locally who took time out to do a background check on the alleged murderer, and all kinds of stuff came up that no one else had taken the time to dig into. And it literally took her minutes and was a minimal amount of money and time on her part. But it really brought things together, unfortunately a little too late, but in a very concrete way and very definitive way. Definitely not one of my brighter moments, but a hard lesson learned nonetheless. Have you ever made the mistake of not really finding out who you're dealing with? Comment below. Share your lessons learned. It may help to reinforce the lessons, but also help others on their journey. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.